Welcome back, everyone, to the halftime show here on the PAC Sports Network for our coverage today of the Bethany Bison and the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets. And today we're now joined by current guard for the Bethany Bison men's basketball team, Chance Wright. Chance, wonderful to have you join us today. First off, need to hear how this season has been for you and the Bison and just how this whole year overall has been for you guys.
Hey, Jack. First, I want to thank you for having me, and I'm excited to talk to you here for a little bit. And yeah, so the season's been up and down, as a lot of people might see by our record. We've had a few hiccups along the way that, with our head coach taking a step down for personal and health reasons, um, so 2 games into the year, and then the AD becoming our interim head coach, but allowing Coach Thorson, who is our graduate assistant slash assistant coach, taking over. And so that was, just to start the season. And then we've had multiple of injuries. Um, and so, yeah, it's been a few hiccups, but we've had an up and down season. We play guys tough. We're honestly, we've gotten better from the first day we started practice till today. And I think that's the biggest thing so far is just how we keep competing. And then, we have a lot of freshmen playing. Myself, I'm a new guy here, and we've just been trying to figure it out. And I think we are, and we keep getting better. We've taken the number one and the number two team to, with Chatham and Westminster to, last second possessions. So.
I want to get into your career a little bit, Chance. I know that you, like you said, this is your first year at Bethany. You previously were at Mount Aloysius. I know that last year was an odd year at Mount Aloysius with the COVID, remnants still going on and whatnot. But what led you to wanting to come to Bethany? I mean, what drew you to wanting to become a Bison?
So actually, so I already graduated with my undergrad degree, and I actually was I was working a full-time job, and I saw Bethany had a graduate program for master's education. I was helping part-time as a coach, and I always have worked youth league camps, worked with high school kids, like, and I was like, you know what, I want to get into education, and with all the new certifications, and a couple of my buddies are teachers, they're like, hey, you can get your master's education, we can get you implemented, and then you can work towards being a certified teacher, through the subbing and all that stuff. So that was my biggest thing. And they offered a graduate assistant program where I work. And so I'm not, because grad school, you don't do a lot of classes like an undergrad. So during the day, I'm working on campus. And so, yeah, that was the big thing. And it's just a nice setup. I've always actually liked the state of West Virginia. We're right down here. It just has a Harry Potter feel to it. Like every time stuff, it feels like a different atmosphere from what I'm used to. And it drew me to it. And the coaching staff, they had a plan implemented, knew some guys here, and it just kind of it made sense.
Well, it's got to be very interesting this year. Like you said, undergrad, you have obviously a much larger, class load. Now, not so much. And now it's more so balancing, maybe work and basketball. What does that look like for you this year? I mean, just in terms of managing your time and not having to worry about school as much as is, in contrast to previous years.
When I first got here in the first semester, as you know, like you just do workouts after everyone's done with class, lifting, conditioning, and that's only takes a couple hours out of your day. But once the season started, I really felt myself like, oh, I need to write everything down because, I go to work for like a good amount of time, and then you have, practice, film, travel for games. And it's just been a big balance of making sure. And then on top of that, I have night classes, so working around. Okay, go to class for go get a class, and I'm running the practice later. We have practice and right before class, and I got to run the class. And I barely got my practice jersey off, and I'm running into class to be on time for that to take care of that. So it's just been it's a lot lighter class load, but you're still doing the balancing of school, now work, and now basketball. So
Well, it's great you've been able to adjust and kind of transition into that, and obviously it gets you ready for your life after basketball, and when you're not having to worry about practice and games and the travel schedule and so much, all that other stuff that comes with being a student athlete. But want to get into your again your career, because you start out at Carlo and then you eventually transferred over to crosstown rival in Point Park. What led you to wanting to start your career at Carlo, and then why did you want to eventually transfer to Point Park?
So when I was coming out of high school, Carlo recruited me. At the time, it felt right. And I was young at that time. I was looking at different things, and when I got there, it wasn't for me. Just everything just didn't feel right. Yeah, I was in downtown Pittsburgh, and I'm a Pittsburgh person. It just didn't feel right for some reason. It never just really gelled. I never was, from classes to I actually played, so it wasn't about basketball. It was just like something didn't feel right. And then when I went to Point Park, it was when I decided I didn't want to go back to Carlo. The coach at Point Park reached out to me, and I actually had to sit out my first year, and it was just something was just different. Being in classes there, I was part of the team, but I wasn't part of the team because I couldn't play. So I'm just going to practice every day, and there was something different. I don't know if it was the history of Point Park basketball, or the fact that they had something, maybe just being. It was just something different. I wish I could say it, but you know what it's like. You go somewhere and you're like, wow, I feel myself doing something here. So.
Well, along these various stops that you've had, I mean, what is something that you've learned to kind of, carry yourself through these different places, constantly being the new guy on the team, being the new guy in class and at school? What is something that you've learned along that way?
Uh, I learned a lot. It's just you got to work hard every day and be a good teammate, and just show that you're there for the ultimate goal is, get a college education, play college basketball, because as you know, not a lot of people get to do that. And you're just there to work hard, and I'm not there to, and our ultimate goal is to win games. So I think every time, multiple stops, people know that from, I still talk to former teammates. They're like, and my one buddy, he told me, he said, one thing I remember about you is you just came every day, even from the day you got there to the day we were done playing together. I just knew you were there for the right reasons, to play hard and win games for us. So, and get a college education.
Well, again, I think it's just awesome that you've been able to kind of have that almost full circle moment, if you will, where it's kind of all come together, the final stop for you. So I think that's really, really great for you. But again, Chance, appreciate your time today. Before we let you run, I kind of want to, again, stick with that theme of the veteran experience and whatnot, and just hear from you. Where do you feel your veteran experience has helped your team and just helped the group of guys that you have this year overall?
I think it helps with a lot of guys. I talk to them about getting extra work in the gym, and just being in certain moments. I know we were playing at Chatham, and the crowd was just electrified. I think you were there calling the game, actually.
Yes, I
And
was. Yes.
yeah, and you can attest to this. The crowd was really into it. It was a great game, back and forth, and and as I said, we had younger guys playing, and everyone's getting all like hyped up. I'm like, guys, calm down. We're here. We're here. Let's bring it in a little bit. Let's keep building off of what we're doing. And then also with like there's dog days in college basketball. Like, we were on a losing streak. We got to win. And I tell guys, you got to come every day and battle. Like, and I think that's where it is. Just not mentoring them, but telling them that there are better days, and we just got to keep working hard, because there's going to be that moment when it all clicks, and just being and just keep working hard, and not forgetting what got us going. So.
Well, it's definitely great advice that you can give the younger guys, Chance. And again, we really appreciate your time today, and we wish you guys nothing but luck moving forward here on the PAC Sports Network.
Hi, Jack, and I appreciate you for having me. And once again, I appreciate that. Thanks. Have a good one.
That's Chance Wright of Bethany men's basketball. Folks, thanks for watching, but don't go anywhere. We will continue our coverage of the Bethany Bison and the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets right here on the PAC Sports Network.